Hello, dear students. Welcome to our final revision session for Eng102 course. My name is Mr. محمد Said Ahmed, and I'm going to host you today to explore different sections of our forthcoming English examination, and I hope that you would get the most benefit from today's podcast. Let's start with an essential part of our exam, which is use of English. Here we are going to focus on some important vocabulary and grammatical rules which you have already studied this semester. Let's start with vocabulary. Here, as you can see, we have a table which contains some words, and you are required to fill in the spaces using these words. I'm going to read them all, and I'm going to clarify the meanings of some words that might be confusing, but you'd better use a dictionary to help you check out the meanings of some words which are unknown to you. Let's read. We have found, aim, frequently, actual, impression, higher, and substantial. I'm going to clarify the meanings of some words. For example, if we have the verb found, found means to establish or set up. And I emphasize that found here is not the past simple of the verb find. So found is a separate word and means to set up or to establish. The second word is frequently, and frequently is an adverb which means often. The third is actual, and actual is an adjective that means real. The fourth is impression, and it means an idea or opinion of what somebody or something is like. And as they say, first impressions last. We have also the verb hire, and hire here, because it has another meaning, means to employ. Then we have the adjective substantial, and substantial means large in size or number. So we say substantial quantity, substantial number, which means large either in size or number. Okay, number one, this story is about gap events. It's based on something that happened to the author. Let's guess the right answer. And I know that you are all brilliant. So we are searching here for an adjective. The right answer is actual. How do you know? We know that from the second statement, because they said that the story is based on something that happened to the author, means to say that the events in the story were actual. Number two, when companies want to someone, they often advertise the job online. So the right word is when companies want to hire, which means to employ someone. Number three, it takes a lot of money and effort to a successful business. And here we need a verb which means to establish or to set up. The right answer is found. It takes a lot of money and effort to found a successful business. Number four, most companies to increase sales from year to year. The missing gap must contain a verb, and the verb is aim. Most companies aim to increase sales from year to year. Number 5, according to researchers, most young people spend and then amount of their times on their phones. You can guess. We mean here a large amount of or a big amount of, and the right answer is substantial. Most young people spend a substantial amount of their times on their phones. Let's come to number 6. A study said that our dreams about the future are dots related to a past memory. So we need here an adverb. You guess. And the adverb is frequently. A study said that our dreams about the future are frequently, which means often, related to a past memory. Let's come to the final one. It's important to make a good first at a job interview. And I told you before that first dots last. So it's important to make a good first impression. It's important to make a good first impression at a job interview. Let's come to the second table, and here we have 6 words, and I'm going to clarify some of them. The first word we have is awful. Awful is an adjective which means terrible. The second word is extremely, and extremely is an adverb which means very. The third word we have is the noun theory, and theory means a set of ideas that is intended to explain why something happens. As you know, we have, for example, the theory of gravity, which explains or tells us why things fall to the ground. And we have the verb symptom. We have the verb process, and process means to deal with. Finally, we have the noun personality. So let's read the question. Number 1, a means a sign of illness or disease. We need here a noun. A means a sign of an illness or disease. Just I give you advice. When you choose the right answer, you should know what part of speech is intended to use. For example, we cannot use here a verb because he said a sign of illness means that we need a noun. Means to say that we cannot use extremely forever. For example, so a means a sign, so we cannot use also awful. So these 2 words must be crossed out. We have theory, symptom, or personality, and as you know, process here is a verb and is not here a noun, so we can choose among these 3 choices: theory, symptom, or personality. So let's think. A means a sign of illness, an illness or disease. The right answer is symptom. Okay, a symptom means a sign of illness or disease. Number 2, the weather is cold now, and I will wear a coat. Here we might need an adverb. So the right answer is extremely cold, which means very cold. Number 3, the juice had a or an taste, and as you can see, there is a noun here, which must be described by an adjective. We must find an adjective here which describes the taste. So the right answer is awful, or the only answer that fits is awful, because there is no other adjective. The juice had an awful taste. I didn't like it, so I threw it away. Number 4, sometimes you need to dots events before you understand them, and I mean here to deal with events. As you can see, we have to. So the right word must be a verb, and the verb here, or the only verb we have, is the verb process. Sometimes you need to process events before you understand them, means you have to deal with events before you understand them. Number 5, the scientist has an interesting, and as long as you find an adjective, means that it must be followed by a noun, about the meaning of dreams. So that scientist has an interesting theory about the meaning of dreams. Dots means what a person is like. Here we need a noun. So the right and the last word is personality. Personality means what a person is like. Now let's come to the grammar section. Number 1, we dots be able to record dreams in the future, and we have 3 choices. We have we might, we are, or we can. The right answer is might. But why did we choose might? As you know, we cannot see we are be. This is incorrect. And we cannot see we can be able, because can is the same as be able. So we cannot say can be able, because it is meaningless or nonsense. So the right answer is might, which indicates possibility. We might be able to record dreams in the future. Let's come to the second one. My sister is very busy at work this week, so I probably see her. We have 3 choices. I probably will see her, won't see her, can see her. Let's guess. So the right answer, or the logical answer, is I probably won't. And won't is a short form of will not. And as you know, since the sister is busy, so the logical answer is will not or won't, because she is very busy. That's why the writer cannot or will not be able to see her. My sister is very busy at work this week, so I probably won't or will not see her. Let's come to number 3. The weather forecast says it does rain tomorrow, so you should carry an umbrella. And we have 3 choices. May not rain, won't, and as I said, it's the short form of will not, or may. The right answer is, you can guess, may rain. But why did we choose may? Simply because the writer is advising us to carry an umbrella. The weather forecast says it may rain, so you should carry an umbrella. Let's come to number 4. I don't want money or fame. Not all rich and dots people are happy. And we have 3 choices. And famous people, and famed people, and infamous people. As long as you find a noun, so it must be preceded by an adjective. So we cannot use fame, because fame is a noun. We have 2 choices, famous people or infamous people, because they are 2 adjectives. The right answer is famous. Yes, I know that you could guess it. And let me clarify that although infamous is an adjective, but it has an opposite meaning. Infamous means having a bad reputation, which cannot work here. So the right answer is famous people. Let's come to the final one. If my father's job wasn't stressful, he be happier now. And we have 3 choices. He will be happier, he would be happier, he can be happier. As you can see, this is the second conditional, or as you know, the unreal past. As long as you find if and a past simple tense verb, you should use of course would. If my father's job wasn't stressful, and this is unreal past, so the right answer must be would. We cannot use will or can. So he would be happier now. Now, let's come to the writing section. We are going to start with a balanced opinion essay. As you know, this is the writing task in Unit 6. Okay, as you know, we start with the title. This is the layout of writing a balanced opinion essay. When you start writing a balanced essay, you should start with the title. And here, for example, this is the model writing in Unit 6, Lesson 7, Self-Driving Cars. You write the title in the middle. After that, we start with paragraph 1, and the paragraph 1 contains the introduction. The introduction starts with the general idea, and then we become more specific. Then we present what is called the thesis statement, and the thesis statement means the main idea of the topic. So we start with the title, after that the introduction, general idea, then we present the thesis statement or the main idea of the topic. For example, let me give you an example of a thesis statement. Self-driving cars have both advantages and disadvantages. So this is the main idea of our topic. Self-driving cars are, as you can see, or have two sides. One of them is advantageous, and the other one is faulty or have merits, which means the disadvantages of using cars. So here, as you can see, this is a balanced opinion essay. Here the writer presents a thesis statement that he is not biased to any of the two parties. In paragraph 2, we present the pros or the advantages. We start with a clear topic sentence. And after that, we use supporting ideas, which should include facts, examples, or details to support our topic sentence. After that, we turn to the cons or disadvantages. You start with a clear topic sentence, and we use supporting ideas, which should include facts or examples or details to support your topic sentence. Finally, we come to the conclusion. And here we summarize our main points and restate our thesis again. We provide a final thought which must be neutral and doesn't support any of the two sides. And let me again emphasize that we must not take the viewpoint of any of the two parties. We just stand in between. For example, in conclusion, there are pros and cons for sleeping in self-driving cars. Before you try a self-driving car, consider its pros and cons. As you can see here, the writer is impartial. He is not biased to any of the two sides. He stands in between. Although self-driving cars have advantages or good side, it has also disadvantages or drawbacks, and we must consider its pros and cons. Now we have a model writing about recording our dreams. Let me read the rubric. In the future, we may be able to record our dream our dreams, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of being able to do this, recording our dreams. As you know, this is the title of our balanced essay. Then we start with an introduction, giving a general idea about the topic. Some scientists think that we might be able to record our dreams in the future. In this essay, I'm going to shed light on both the advantages and disadvantages of recording dreams, and this is the thesis statement of our topic. We have advantages and disadvantages of this process. Let's start with the pros or the advantages. On the one hand, some people who are in favor or supporting the idea assume that it would be an interesting idea. We can see what our brains are doing while we sleep. In addition, it can bring much fun when we can show our dreams to close friends or members of the family. Furthermore, some psychologists think that it might help us understand ourselves and be more creative. Finally, it might help us solve our daily problems when ideas from the subconscious pop up. Okay, and as you can hear, the writing has already listed four advantages of recording dreams. Okay, let me clarify this word that might be unknown to most of you. The word subconscious, it's a new word. Subconscious means the part of your mind that notices and remembers information when you are not trying to do so or ignoring it. If you see something and you are trying to ignore that thing, or you are not going or no, you're not trying to remember, the subconscious is the part of your mind that notices and remembers it. The subconscious can affect your behavior even if you don't realize it. It comes, for example, in slip of tongues. Okay, and the word pop up means to appear. Okay, now let's come to the drawbacks or demerits of recording dreams. And here the writer is listing the disadvantages. On the other hand, other people say that it would be too embarrassing. You will feel shy to show your dreams. Plus, we can lose our privacy in case hackers could steal our dreams and show them online. Besides, we might confuse dreams with reality. We might mix both of them and might spoil our daily lives. Above all, even if we ignored all the defects that we had mentioned, it would be very expensive to do. Then we present the conclusion, and as I told you, you must be impartial, you must be neutral, you must not be biased to any of the two parts. To sum up, recording dreams can bring fun to our lives, but it might also cause us trouble if we don't consider the drawbacks. Let's come to the second writing task, which is letter of advice. I'm going to present the layout. As you know, letter of advice is an informal letter. That's why we start with the salutation. Then, while you are writing the letter, you can say, "Hi, how are you? How's your family? How was your last exam?" You can ask whatever, okay, in the beginning of your letter, because this is an informal letter. And as you know, informal letter between two parties which know each other well. So you can start with a greeting. After that, we turn to body paragraph 1, which contains tip or step 1, the first advice. You start the advice and supporting ideas. Body paragraph tip or advice number 2, topic sentence, then supporting ideas for your advice. Remember, this is a letter of advice. The third paragraph contains the second step or the third step or the third advice. Here you provide your topic sentence, then supporting ideas for your advice. Conclusion, you end your composition with closing tips and reassuring phrases. This is the writing task in lesson 7, lesson 9, unit 7. A friend has written you a letter asking for advice about how to start a new restaurant in Bahrain. Use your first draft from lesson 7 to write a letter in which you tell him or her about the steps he or she has to follow. Use the ideas, vocabulary, and skills from the unit. I'm going to read my model writing. Here you are advising someone who is thinking about starting or opening a restaurant in Bahrain. Dear Ali, I hope you are doing well. This is greeting because, as you know, this is an informal style of writing. I hope you are doing well. I was very excited to know that you are planning to open a restaurant in Bahrain. It is really an awesome idea, as Bahraini people are fond of eating out and ordering food rather than eating homemade meals. I'm glad to share some ideas that might be beneficial to you. Let's come to the first advice. First, you have to do a thorough research. Thorough here means comprehensive research, total research about the food market in Bahrain. One good piece of advice is to visit local restaurants to know about the popular dishes here. Another important thing is that you need to find a place near to a car park. Streets in Bahrain are crowded and parking areas are relatively few. You should bear in mind that most people here are motorists. And as you know, the word motorist means that someone who owns a car. The second step, you also have to hire professional staff that have high experience in preparing food. Your restaurant must serve clean, delicious food at reasonable prices. So this is the second piece of advice, or the second tip. The third piece of advice, finally, you would better find a populous area. I mean an area that has a lot of population, that you so that you can attract lots of customers. Manama, Rifa' and Muharrak are three good examples of populous cities. And as I told you, populous means having a large number of people or a lot of people. Okay? Then we come to the conclusion. It must be concise and to the point. I wish you the best of luck in your forthcoming project. Write me soon and tell me about your news. Then your best wishes, and you sign your name. Here there is a supposed name, that is Ahmad. Okay, let's come to the third task, which is writing a report. We will start with the layout. The layout of writing a report is different from the letter or essay, as it has heading to, for example, to the school principal, from your name, and you should bear in mind that there is a name which the examiner gives you in your final examination. Here, for example, we say Noor Salah, the date, and it's advisable to use the date of your exam, which will be 13th of May 2025, and the subject, it varies from topic to another. We start with an introduction. We briefly introduce the topic of the report. Then we state the purpose of the report. Then here, this is a very important point. We indicate the sources of information used for the report. You should mention where you got the information from. Okay? After that, we list the benefits or advantages. Benefit 1, you provide details and examples. Benefit 2, you provide details and examples as well. Benefit 3, you provide details and examples. Okay? After that, we turn to the disadvantages. We provide details and examples. The disadvantage 1, provide detail and examples. Disadvantage 2, provide details about it and examples. to support your idea. Then after that, disadvantage 3, provide details and examples. You can merge, for example, 1 and 2 and 3 together, okay, if there is not enough space to write in the exam paper. Then after that, we come to the conclusion, and here you summarize the main findings, the main facts about the report. You stress the complexity of the issue and the need for urgent action. Here you can involve what should be done to prevent the negative impacts of the phenomenon. Here we have a topic, okay, unit task. Write a report about using technology after school. Your teacher asked you to write a report about how students use technology, and he mentioned phones and laptops after school. Use your first draft from lesson 7 to write a balanced report. Use the ideas, skills, and vocabulary from this unit. As you know, we will start, or we must start with the headings to my English teacher, because he said here, your teacher. So this is the person you are addressing your report or submitting your report to. So that's why you must start with to my teacher or to my English teacher, okay? From this is supposed name Ali Ahmed, and date, this is the date of your forthcoming exam, 13th of May to 2025. The subject, students and technology after school. Your title must be concise and indicate what is the report about. You start with introduction. Here you give general ideas. Technology plays a significant role in students' lives outside schools. Smartphones and laptops have become indispensable. And let me clarify that the word indispensable means something or someone that you cannot live without. Means that, as you know, smartphones have become a crucial part of our lives that we cannot live without. Okay? The aim of this report is to examine, to look into the advantages and drawbacks. I mean by drawbacks, as you know, the demerits or disadvantages of these devices away from classrooms. The information included herein was collected from students and the internet. As you can see, this is the source of information, or the source of our information or our data. And the word herein means in this document. The word herein means in this document. The information in this document was collected from students and the internet. This is the source of our information. Then we start with the pros or the advantages, or in other words, we call them the merits. On the one hand, technology facilitates learning. Facilitate is a verb which means to make something easier. As you can say, technology makes learning easier. As you know, students can use educational apps and get information from countless websites. Besides, social media platforms allow them to connect with their classmates to share information and do a group study. This is the second benefit of using technology in study. Finally, technology provides opportunities for talented students to show their creativity. As you can see here, the writer listed 3 advantages for or benefits for using technology. It facilitates learning. Students can log onto countless or a substantial number of websites and get information from. Besides, as you know, social media allow them to connect with their classmates, and also you can show your talents through these or via these social media platforms. Now let's come to the downsides or the cons. On the other side, excessive use of these devices leads to a lot of problems. The word excessive means overuse. If you use so much, if you use something too much, you see excessive use. Okay? And here the writer is listing the problems of overuse or misuse of these devices. First, it can cause health issues like eye strain and back pain. And here he clarifies what he means. Sitting for a long time in front of computer screens hinders the physical activity and might cause obesity. Obesity means being fat or overweight. Above all, students can waste their time. This is due to the misuse of technology. Students can waste their time browsing social media instead, as you know, instead of studying and getting access to inappropriate content which is not allowed to young people. Then we come to the conclusion. In conclusion, technology can make learning easy and real fun. However, parents and educators should establish health rules to maximize the benefits and minimize the potential downsides. Now let's come back to use of English. This is the second part of use of English. And as you know, as I told you before, use of English includes the vocabulary and grammatical rules which we have studied in this semester. Let's start with vocabulary. Fill in the spaces using words from the books. And as I did before, I'm going to read the 8 words and I'm going to clarify some of them. And again, I advise you to have a dictionary near you or close to you so that you can check out the words that is unknown or difficult to you. Let's start with the first one. Okay, before that, I need to read them first. We have analyze, otherwise, values, checking in, experiment, access, addicted, and the verb look into. Let me clarify some of these words. I will start with the word otherwise. And otherwise is used to tell us if something doesn't happen, something else will happen. You must study, otherwise you will fail your exam. You understand? You must respect others, otherwise they will hurt you. So otherwise means if something does not happen, another thing will happen or something else will happen. The second word is the verb value. And value means to appreciate or to look someone up. Okay? If you give me a good opinion, you say, I'm really valuing or I really value your opinion, means that I appreciate it. And the word check in has a lot of meanings, but the meaning we need here is to be online, to resume browsing, or to check an account on the internet. So as I told you, check in has different meanings, and the one that is mentioned in our course book is to be online, to resume browsing, or to check an account on the internet, so that you are not confused with other meanings of the word check in. We have experiment, and it's a known word. We have this word which is access, and the word access means the right or ability to use something. We say access to the internet. For example, you don't have access to enter this room, it's only for the staff. Means you are not allowed or you cannot enter here. So again, access means the right or ability to use something. We have the adjective addicted, and addicted means the inability to stop doing something, especially a habit. If you cannot stop doing something, this is what we call addiction. As we say, addicted to drugs, addicted to video games, means that you cannot stop or you are unable to stop taking drugs or playing video games. Okay? So this is the meaning of addicted. Okay? And the last word we have is the verb look into. And look into is a verb which means to examine the facts about a problem or a situation. So if you have facts, you say we can look into the facts about it, or in other words, we can say look into means to examine. So again, look into means to examine the facts about a problem or situation. Number one, how long can you go without your telephone? How long can you go without telephone? And by the way, this is very easy even if you do not know the right word, simply because we have without. Without is always followed by a noun or a gerund, which means verb plus ing. Okay, so how long can you go without? Simply you can use either a noun or a gerund, and the right word is checking in on your telephone. How long can you stay without logging into one of your accounts on the internet or to be online on one of your accounts? Okay, let's come to number two. Ice cream companies often with new flavors to increase sales. They try new flavors to increase sales, and the right word or the logical word is experiment. They try or they experiment new flavors to increase sales. Number three, it's important to customers' needs before opening a new business. It's important to guess, analyze customers' needs before opening a new business. Number four, my boss, the creativity in the people she works with. Here we have boss, my boss, and we have creativity. So the right word indicates or implies to appreciate or to look someone up. You understand? Here, sure, it means appreciate, and the right word would be I know that you are brilliant. My boss values means my boss appreciate. Let's come to the fifth one. He needs to make more money. The other choice, he will have to close the shop. Here we have two stops. Here we have two choices. He needs to make money. He will have to close the shops. And the right word will be, as I told you, otherwise. He either makes more money, or the other bad choice or the unwanted choice is to close his business. So you need to do something, otherwise there is something else that will happen. Number six, some young people are to social media means that they cannot stop logging onto the social media, which means that they are, guess what? They are addicted. I told you addicted means the inability to stop doing something. Always young people are logging into their social media platforms. They cannot stop this habit. Number seven, when people have to the internet, okay, when they have the ability to use the internet, they can find jobs more easily. The right word is, I know that you are bright. When people have access to the internet, correct. When people have access to the internet, they can find jobs more easily. Let's come to the final one. If you dot something, you find out about it. And here means to examine the facts about something. If you look into something, okay? If you look into something, you find out about it. Now let's come to the grammar section. Number one, my company's employee are extremely people, and as long as you can find a noun, it must be preceded by an adjective. We have professionist, professional, and profession, and this is a very easy choice. As you know, this is professional. This is commonly used by people, professional. Okay, So let's come to number 2. I like studying early in the morning. This is an early bird. If you do something early, we call you an early bird. Okay, and as they say, the early bird catches the worm. I like studying early in the morning. That's when I am the most, and as long as you find the most means that it must be followed by an adjective. When I am the most. We have productive, producting, and produce. Where is the adjective here? You can guess. Excellent, productive. This is the adjective from the verb produce. Now let's come to number 3. Farah wanted to use her cell phone. She could not because the battery was dead. As you can see, there's a contradiction here between the two clauses. She wants to use her cell phone, but the battery was dead. Her battery was not charged. So the right answer would be although. Why did we use although? Because there is contradiction between the two statements. We are not searching for a reason, so that we use because. We are not searching for a result. The relationship or the relation between the two clauses is a contradiction. The two statements are there is a contradiction between them. That's why we use although. There is another word which has the same meaning, which is even though. Although and even though have the same meaning. Let's come to number 4. Smartphones can be distracting. They also offer valuable tools for learning when used effectively. Here we are comparing two situations. Smartphones can be distracting. On the other hand, they also offer valuable tools for learning when used effectively. There is no contradiction, but we are comparing two situations, and the right answer here is why. While smartphones can be distracting, they also offer valuable tools for learning when used effectively. Number 5, I found the homework difficult. I understood the theory. We have even though, because, and despite, and the right answer is even though. As I told you, even though and although have the same meaning. Remember that we cannot use despite here because despite must be followed by a gerund, and there is no gerund here. I mean by gerund verb plus ing. There is no verb plus ing here. Or it must be followed by a noun phrase. This is, as you can see, a full statement. I understood the theory. Or a phrase or a noun. So we cannot use despite, although it has the same meaning of even though, because despite must be followed either by three things. By gerund. By gerund we mean verb plus ing. Despite being professional. Despite being the fastest. So after despite, we use verb plus ing. We use noun phrase, or we can use only noun. Now let's come to number 6. Can you tell me where dots? Does he live? He does live. He lives. As you can see, this is what we call indirect question. And in an indirect question, number 1, we cross out do or does or did. We cannot use do or does or did at all. And we change the order of the question to be like a normal statement. As you can write a statement, you start with the subject, then the verb. For example, if you can, is he, it will be, for example, do you know where he is going? We cannot say where is he going, because in indirect question, we change the form of the question into a statement, as a normal statement. Okay, so as you can see, we have does, and he lives. So the right answer is he lives. Why? Because whenever you use an indirect question, you must not use does or did. So both the choices are incorrect, and the correct answer is he lives. could you tell me where he lives? And as I told you, this indirect question, how can we know this indirect question? You can find in the beginning, can you tell me? Can you explain? Can I know? Do you know? And as you know, this is an indirect way, or they can say this is a polite request to ask someone about something. You did not start with where, you started with can you tell me? Can you explain? Or any other way that asks a question in indirect way. Now let's come to number 7, the heavy rain. The heavy rain. As you can see, the heavy rain, this is what we call a noun phrase. What is a noun phrase? A noun phrase means a group of words or a group of nouns that does not contain a verb. Again, noun phrase is some group of words that does not contain a verb. This is noun phrase. They decided to go for a hike. We have 3 choices. As you can see, there is contradiction. Heavy rain on one side, the other side, they insisted to go for a hike. So there is a contradiction. And the right answer is despite. As I told you, despite is followed by a noun phrase or verb plus ing. Despite the heavy rain, they decided to go for a hike. Why not although? Because although must be followed by a full statement. As here, I understood this theory. This is a full statement. But here, as you can see, only noun phrase. There is no verb, there is no subject. Let's come to the final one. The organization I work for over 100 years ago. And we have 2 choices. We have 3 choices, sorry. The organization I work for is founded, was founded, and founded. We can infer from this statement that this is in the passive voice form. Because you can say the organization I work for, here we cannot say that it established itself. That's why we guess that this is in the passive form. So that's why we cannot say found, because an organization cannot establish itself. I told you before that the verb found means to establish or set up. So we can cross out this option. We have 2 options: is founded and was founded. Which one of them? I try to guess which is the right answer. The right answer is was founded. But why did we use was founded? Simply because this happened 100 years ago. So we cannot say is founded. The organization I worked for was established over 100 years ago. This happened in the past, and as I told you, this is a passive form because the organization cannot be a subject. This is an object, okay, because an organization cannot establish itself. Now let's come back to writing again, and here we have newspaper article. Newspaper article in our curriculum is about a problem such as cyberbullying, for example, or domestic violence or any other thing. So the newspaper article here, there is no at all advantages. We are talking about the downsides of a phenomenon. As I told you about cyber criminal, for example, about domestic violence. And we start with the layout. As you know, with a newspaper article, we start with the title, then an introduction. In the introduction, we can involve background information. We can define any term like cyberbullying, domestic violence, and so on. Then we provide a thesis statement. Thesis means the main idea or opinion of the composition. What is our article about? Body paragraph 1, we start with the topic sentence, then supporting ideas. This includes reasons for the phenomenon or negative impacts. As I told you, and our newspaper articles in our curriculum is about a negative phenomenon. So don't expect to find anything negative, anything positive here. This includes reasons for the phenomenon and negative impacts. Then body paragraph 2, we can include another negative impact. Body paragraph 3, we include an additional bad effect. We can add a result of the study or research with our supporting ideas. Okay, then we end our newspaper article with a conclusion, and here we summarize the ideas and give a final thought. We provide suggestions if possible. If you know how to work out this problem, or how to try to alleviate, or try to in any way to stop this bad phenomenon, or this negative thing, you can give your suggestions here. Okay, now we have this unit task in lesson 9. Imagine you are a reporter for a local newspaper. You use your first draft from lesson 7 to write an article about cyberbullying. And here we are going to define what is cyberbullying before we start writing about it. Okay, and its negative impact on young people. Use the ideas, vocabulary, and skills from the unit. First, we start defining what is a cyberbullying. Cyberbullying means using the internet to harm or frighten another person, especially by sending hurtful or threatening messages. Undoubtedly, cyberbullying has its negative impact on both young people and their families. Here, as you know, we have started defining what cyberbullying is. After that, we list the negative impacts of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying can significantly affect the social lives of young people by causing feelings of isolation, anxiety, and depression. If someone is frightening you, how can you lead a normal life? Simply. So as you can see, it can cause feeling of isolation, anxiety. You are always worried about what will happen to you, and depression. You are always frustrated. It can also lead to reluctance, and being reluctance means you are unwilling to do something. Unwillingness, you don't want to do anything. Reluctance to participate in social activities, you simply withdraw from social activities, both online and offline. If there is a party, you refuse to go to the party. If there is an occasion, you refuse to take part in. And can damage relationship with your peers, because you will suspect them all. Because as you know, in many cases in cyberbullying, you don't know who is the person who is harassing you online. That's why you doubt everyone alone. As you said, skepticism is the feeling between you and others. That's why you don't trust anyone. This can damage the relationship with other people. Some may even withdraw from social interactions altogether out of fear or shame. If someone is going to cause you a scandal, you feel ashamed of something bad you have done. Okay? There is another negative impact of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying can have a destructive effect on students' academic performance. It can lead to poor concentration, and poor here means weak concentration. Someone who is threatened by someone who cyber criminal does not have full concentration and or focus in class, decreased motivation, you don't have any desire to learn, and lower grades overall. Your grades or your score is always down. It can also distract the students from their studies, or even lead them, and this is the worst thing to happen to a student, lead them to think of dropping out of school. A victim of cyberbullying might think of leaving school altogether. Here we provide suggestions to stop this very critical or very dangerous phenomenon. There are some suggestions to prevent cyberbullying. Teachers and parents should encourage children to talk about what frightens them online. This is the first piece of advice. They should report cyberbullying incidents. Also, young people should not publish details of their or about their personal lives. And this is advice for all of you. Don't publish details about your own personal lives or photos of your families, because they might be misused by hackers or cyber criminals. Finally, and this is the last option, finally the police can intervene if the victim feels danger to their fame or lives. Here we have 3 suggestions to stop or alleviate such a phenomenon. Okay, the teacher should encourage, you must not fear, you must talk about what frightens you. Number 2, you should report what they are saying. At the same time, you should not publish details about you. And the last option, if all of this does not act or does not, all of this cannot work, the last thing must be the authorities procedure, which is the police. The police can search, and we have here, as you know, cyber criminal department in the Ministry of Interior. They can interfere or intervene if the victim feels danger to their lives or fame. Now let's come to the last writing in our curriculum, which is a very interesting topic about a personal blog post. Let's start with the layout. Number 1, we set the context. We identify 2 unique symbols in our country, 2 marvelous or 2 outstanding symbols in our country. Body paragraph 1, the first symbol that reflects your country's spirit. Okay, what makes Bahrain unique, or what makes Bahrain different from any other country? Describe the symbol. Why this symbol is important? This is the first symbol. In the second paragraph, we talk about the second symbol that represents our country. We describe this symbol, and as I told you, it must be distinctive, something that is not found in any other country. Why this symbol is important? At last, we finish with the conclusion. Your final comment: emphasize the role of the mentioned symbols and preserving the country's cultural identity. Now, let's talk about Bahrain. Exploring Bahrain's culture. This is a very interesting topic. Whenever I think of Bahrain, I think of all the marvelous things that make it special. The verb or the adjective marvelous here means wonderful or very good. Whenever I think of Bahrain, I think of all the wonderful things that make it special. Okay, these things include art, history, delicious food, tree of life. But what really stands out to me, and the verb stand out means to be very clear or noticeable. What is very clear to me are the values and generosity of the Bahraini people. Generosity means the value of being generous. As you know, Bahraini people are known to be generous people. Okay, let's take a close look at 2 things that make Bahrain a distinctive, a unique nation. Okay, first, Bahraini people are mostly affected by the Islamic values. They do respect and help each other. This is number 1. Number 2, they are tolerant of other religions, cultures, and ethnicities. As you know, Bahraini people are tolerant. They accept other people's religions. As you know, we have different religions here and cultures. And we have this word, which is the word ethnicity. Ethnicity means a person who belongs to a certain ethnic group. As we say, for example, we have the Arabs, the Caucasian white Europeans, the Southeast Asians, the Africans. These are different examples of ethnicities that coexist in Bahrain. Okay, so ethnicity, as I told you, a person who belongs to a certain ethnic group. Bahrain is a multicultural country, means that Bahrain has different or diverse cultures. We don't have just one culture. We have cultures from different parts of the world. where lots of nationalities coexist and work side by side to achieve ambition. This is the genius of Bahrain. Okay, lots of nationalities coexist in one place and they work side by side to achieve ambition. The citizens of the Arabian nations are known to be open-minded, respectful, and generous. So we here in this paragraph we mention different personal traits of the Bahraini people. Okay, let's come to another distinctive symbol of our country. Another unique feature of the country is the tree of life, and here we it's advisable to tell the reader what is a tree of life, because it's a symbol that is not found anywhere. It is a 32 feet high tree that is found in the south of the country. Botanist means the scientists who study plants. We call them botanists. Botanists have evaluated its age to be over 400 years. Can you imagine? The tree of life is 400 years of age. Okay, what makes it astonishing is that it stands in the middle of a hot desert with no source of water. That's why it's a distinctive symbol. It stands in the middle of a desert with no source of water at all. It is not certain how the tree survives, but its roots are 50 meters deep, which may be enough to reach the water. So this is the second symbol in our country, which is the tree of life. Let's come to the conclusion. In conclusion, Bahrain is an outstanding means excellent, is an outstanding country which you will never regret if you ever think of visiting it. The hospitality, and the word hospitality means the trait, the hospitality and values of people. Hospitality means the trait of being generous, the hospitality and values of people, and the amazing tree of life are remarkable things that you will never forget. Here we have come to our final destination. I would like to thank you all. I hope that you could get the most benefit of my presentation today. I wish I wish to all of you the best in your forthcoming exam. Have a nice day and goodbye.